What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Baj Sesh. Today, I'm going to talk about something a little more lighthearted on the spectrum of things. We a lot of times talk about the good, obviously things that I struggle with and everything, but today I wanted to more focus on grief, things like that, like what the process of grieving somebody that you really do miss tremendously. I mean, I feel like you can understand who I'm talking about. I have lost multiple people in my life the past couple of years, but Logan was one that just didn't even feel real. Even up to this day, still doesn't even feel real in a sense. It shattered every single expectation I had for what life could be, because I never realized that someone that was that close to me could be pulled away that easily, especially this early on. And it kind of made me just realize that this shit is not forever, and it's also not for everybody, because a lot of people with the hand that, you know, I'm not saying that I was dealt a hard hand, you know, a lot of people lose a lot more people throughout life, but like, you know, you get the hand that I was dealt, and they make every excuse to have a bad life. They make every excuse to not try to be better. And I think that living with that mentality, you're gonna succumb to just nothing but mediocrity. Like, imagine if I, after Logan passed away, never decided to lose weight, never decided to take a chance on my life and at least try to change the way that I was feeling, especially not even just the way that I was feeling, but the way that I was treating others, the anger level that I had within myself, all of those things. It really is it's a selfish thinking to think that it's all over when someone does pass. And that's something that it was hard to learn, because for a while I didn't think that anyone else had ever experienced what I was going through. That was like what was going through my brain at that time. I just didn't think that people would understand what the fuck I had going on. There's just no way. Like, you lost your brother? Nah, you didn't lose my brother though. And eventually you gotta understand, like I think I've been saying in this a lot of videos, like, we really do all have technically one-of-one experiences, but none of our experiences are original. There's someone out there that is also struggling with something just as deep and as mighty as what you're going through. And just being able to verbalize and talk with that out loud is a huge process in the steps of kind of just coming to terms with what's going on. I'm still grieving to this day. I still have these vivid dreams about Logan still being alive. And I'm not sure if anyone else on here like feels the same way, people that have lost somebody. I just get these like weird dreams that makes me forget. Like, I'll wake up in the morning and kind of just forget. I still go, and whenever something very exciting happens in my life, it happens rarely now, but like, I still will go on my phone and go to my contacts, and the first person that I'm looking to call is Logan. And then I'm just like, oh yeah, can't do that anymore. It's a weird feeling, bro. And if I can help any of y'all, the one thing that I can say truly is that it doesn't end. Now, obviously that seems very like, well, what's the fucking point of saying that? It doesn't end in the aspect of this will continue to happen, but through it continuing to happen, it does eventually get to a point where you're not expecting it, but you're also ready to anticipate the feeling and the feelings that you're going to go through and understand that they're valid. That's one thing that I didn't understand when it first happened, was the anger that I felt, the sorrow, the loss, like the hole inside of my stomach, for real. Like, I felt like something was ripped out of me. All of that is normal, but when it first happened, I didn't think it was. So I try to suppress all of those emotions, and I try to tell myself like, no, I'm at peace with this, I'm fine and everything. Bro, it's been 5 years now and I still can't even say that I'm at peace with this. But I was saying that I was at peace with it basically like a fucking 2 weeks right after it happened, because I didn't want people to know how I was really feeling, especially people at school. I didn't want anyone to know really what was going on with me, because it was so detrimental to like my life and my headspace and my mentality that I felt like I was gonna bring down others just by talking about those things. When someone dies, they die twice if you don't speak about them out loud. I've learned that through multiple people, not even getting to know who they are, but when someone shares maybe an experience they had with someone that had passed away, like, you can see that light in their eyes, because they know that they're remembering something about them. Especially like when I talk about Logan, like, I will talk about as much as I possibly can in that moment, because you never know what you're gonna forget. You never know. Like, the worst thing that I could say that I forgot was like his voice and his face. And a lot of what my brain associates with his voice and everything, I really hope that didn't just fuck up the audio. Please tell me that you guys can still hear me. Please tell me you guys can still hear me. I won't even be able to tell. But what was I even saying? Someone just called me. I should have put my phone on Do Not Disturb. But it really, dude, what the fuck was I even just saying? What the fuck was I even just saying? God damn it, bro. And I was starting to get like, I was starting to get like deep mentally. Like I was starting to like fucking heal myself in that moment. But yeah, this shit is going to happen until the end of time. The one thing that sucks about humanity is that we know that we live and that we also know that we're gonna die. I said that in yesterday's video. It's not fair, you know? We didn't want this to happen, obviously. We didn't want people to be lost. We didn't want to experience loss. And it's such a confusing thing that if you leave it at that, knowing that it's a confusing thing, it really isn't that bad. Now, again, perspective, mentality. If you are deciding to treat it as a more of a blessing than a curse, understanding that this life is pain, they don't have to experience pain anymore, as well as now you can live with a different mentality of, I'm going to cherish every single day like it's the last because I know it can be the last, then again, it can be this type of blessing thing. But a lot of people take the easier route with their brain and they decide to let that anger take over. Again, I think we've mentioned this before, but the dude that was driving the car that killed my brother, who was at fault for driving the car and killing my brother, lived dead ass right down the street from me. Not even a 5-minute walk away from my house. I could have easily went in there, blown that bitch up, and then I would have been reaping the consequences of that right now. I would have never probably seen my family again, probably be in prison for the rest of my life. Wouldn't want to do that. Again, I left it up into the hands of whoever the fuck wants to let that happen, because that's not my decision on what happens to him. Again, that happens after life. Whatever happens, happens. Whatever you believe in and whatever happens is gonna happen. I decided to try my best to make peace with that because I know that it's a mistake. I mean, just obviously getting in the car drunk and doing all these things is not a mistake. Like, those were all planned actions in the moment. It was a mistake to get in the accident and to, again, cause a loss of life. And that's why you can't truly be, at least on my end, upset about something. Now, if someone was murdered in your family or whatever the fuck you have going on, that's different circumstances. I mean, fuck, bro. I would be angry as fuck still to this day if someone would have shot and killed my brother. It wasn't his intention. That's a completely different thing. But even still, showing that you can make peace with a situation like that shows incredible emotional maturity, because then at that point, bro, what's gonna break you? I mean, fuck, you might be the person to actually come to when someone is experiencing loss like that. I mean, fuck, bro. The one thing that I truly wanted when I was going through the extreme levels of grief was somebody to talk to. And I just didn't give myself that at all because, again, I didn't want people to think that I was not okay. It is okay to not be okay. I had to learn that. It is okay to be able to say, hey, I'm not really feeling good. Is it okay if I ask you for help? Something that a lot of people think is a nuisance or a burden to others. And I am one of those people that dead ass just would not ask for help. I still, to this day, I gotta roll down the window a little bit. It's kind of hot. But even still to this day, like, I kind of struggle to ask for help because I feel like I'm doing somebody a disservice by asking them to take the time out of their day to do something for me. You should ask for those help, for those favors and for that help, because again, what if you're not here tomorrow? What if they're not there tomorrow? At least you even thought to ask somebody. I take more pride now when someone asks me for help than ever before, because I know that means that they can trust me with something that's super valuable and super important to them. I love being able to help others. That's really, at this point, the blessing that I have been given from this passing and what has happened. Like, especially now, because I've had friends like Baxter and Thievin. My friend Larry passed away. I was able to help my friends that had never dealt with any type of loss before in those moments, which, again, looking back at Logan passing away, in that moment, it obviously wasn't a blessing. I wasn't thinking, oh, thank God this happened. No, I was like, what the fuck? Dead ass. I was like, what the actual fuck? But now I can look back on that and tell people, hey, that's a normal feeling. You saying what the fuck and you having these like questions again about life. Like, that's why we were humans. We have the ability to be able to question. We're the only species that has that ability. So ask those questions. Ask, what the fuck did you go through whenever this happened? How did you feel? It really is not a disservice, and you're not being a burden to anybody by asking those questions. Being vulnerable and verbal helped me out tremendously. Now, obviously, I'm more verbal on my phone. I'm more verbal with you guys as an audience and maybe a lot of people in real life. And who knows? Maybe that's not the best thing for me. But at the same time, it has made me find such a betterment sense of peace than if I would have just stayed quiet or talked to somebody that didn't understand what I was really going through, because it made me understand it. It actually helped me learn, like, when I talk about this certain thing and I have this certain feeling, why do I feel this way when it's out of my control? You can't have everything in control at all times in life, especially other people's lives and the circumstances and the decisions that they're going to make. I thought that if I would have stayed up, which I was up the night that he did pass away, he passed away at around 3 a.m. If I would have called him, which I was up, I constantly used to think about that. But you can't change anything. You can't do anything differently. So again, why would it be your fault for not calling or all of these other things? You didn't know that this circumstance or whatever the fuck happened in their life was gonna happen. So beating yourself up and feeling guilt is probably, I feel like, the worst part of grief that people have to go through, is the guilt aspect, especially if it has, dude, this dude does this every single day with this truck, especially if it has nothing to do with you at all. You know, it's a hard concept to grasp, because then you start looking for other people to blame. Well, you were the one that let him go to the beach. For the longest time, I hated my fucking dad's guts, because I was like, you were the one that told him to go to the beach when you knew that he wasn't ready. Like, I, in my brain, even knew that my brother wasn't ready to go on a trip by himself. But again, scapegoat. What do you think the Memphis Grizzlies did to fucking Dylan Brooks after they lost in the playoffs whenever he was talking shit about LeBron? Scapegoat. We're always going to try to find somebody to blame, especially when it's an outlier. And the biggest outlier for me was that. It's not healthy. I thought it was healthy in the moment because it made me at least stop thinking about, you know, the entire situation that happened and the fact that he wasn't here. Now, I obviously still realize that he wasn't here, but it made me at least feel more of a sense of like this dirty type of peace, because it no longer was on me. Like, I no longer felt the guilt on myself. I kind of put that on somebody else. Just understand that, again, like, it's going to happen either way. You can't change anything in that situation, in that moment at all. Like, it stems down to that control thing that I talked about. You cannot control these situations, and you can't control everything else that happens in the repercussion end. My parents, especially, like, trying to govern me basically after he passed away, when my entire life they basically told me, you're the kid that we never had to worry about. They used to never, ever worry about me. I'm getting another phone call. Holy shit. They used to never worry about me. And all of a sudden, oh my God, another phone call. All of a sudden, it went from never worrying about me to all of a sudden they're on my ass constantly. What are you doing? Where are you at? Where are you going? Are you going to be home? What time are you going to be home from school? Are you driving to school? What's going on? Like, I just, you know, you can't change that. And I also can't blame them, because no parent ever wants to lose a kid. No parent wants to go through that shit. And yeah, that whole week, bro, that whole week in general was probably one of the hardest things in my entire life, because not only did you lose somebody, but at the same time, funeral proceedings and all of the shit that comes with that is so stressful, bro, because when your parents don't even know what the fuck is going on and they're asking you questions, like, I made the decision on whether he would be an organ donor or not. I made the decision, and eventually I said yeah. I was like, fuck yeah, I'd want him to be able to help other people after he's passed on. Like, that would be awesome. Even going to like these little vigils that all of his friends had, like these little like candlelight things. Like, bro, I'd show up to those things and it'd just be like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I wasn't fucking good, bro. Tell people you're not fucking good. It really will save your life. When I told Keaton that I wasn't good, first person I ever told, by the way, that I wasn't good was Keaton. He saved my life. I still say it to this day. Even if I talked to him about it, and he really says that he didn't really do much, but like, just having him on that phone call when I was about to kill myself genuinely changed the way that I felt about other human beings. At that moment in time, when I was going to do it, all I felt was hate. I felt like everyone was against me. I had nobody on my side, not even my parents. And then it turned into, this person actually genuinely cares about how I'm feeling and how I'm doing. What do I even do with this? So, Keaton, for that, like, genuinely, you are a blessing to my life as well. And again, it all stems from these blessings. Even though Keaton we were always friends. We were never like super like best friends, close friends. But after that phone call, we started hanging out every single day. And I still think about that to this day. Like, just the constant workouts that we had. Me going over to his house later at night, chilling with him and Ethan. And then even when we first, like, we lived together for 2 years after that. Like, I probably never would have decided to live with Keaton if we didn't have that one moment where he showed humanity. And he showed me that people actually truly do care, whether you like it or not. You can die on this planet and you can think that you're alone and think that no one gave a fuck about you, but I promise you, someone hearing about you not being here affects somebody on this planet. We are a species that is lucky enough to be able to show love and to be able to spread love. And in some way or another in this life, you have done that to somebody. So, again, if things are getting hard, if things are getting tough, if you think that you can't make it, if you're thinking that the weight of the world is on top of you because this person is not here anymore, I promise you, it's not over. It's not over. It's not over until it is over for you. Don't make your time that much shorter just because of a feeling that you're feeling in that moment. Because I thought that would be forever. 5 years ago, you would have told me that I'm doing what I'm doing right now, I would have said, fuck no. Nah, I want to be dead. I want to be dead. I wouldn't think that the effort in the process of trying to grieve and trying to be better would be worth it. Again, you want the easy, comfortable thing. But sometimes that easy, comfortable thing takes you away from the ease and comfort of a successful and beautiful life because you decided not to let the hard shit take over. And showing that you can do that, again, shows so much emotional maturity. And then even in that aspect, maybe you can help somebody in your life with whatever the fuck they're struggling with. Like, obviously it doesn't have to be with losing somebody. I think that's just the extreme of what I've gone through, and the one thing that trauma-wise has kind of dictated my life for the last 5 years. But you can help anybody with anything because you know how hard it can get. You know how hard things can get, how hard things will get, so you're mentally prepared for those moments. And I can say now, like, I feel like the two that are gonna hurt the worst are my mom and my dad. Like, again, I'm not fucking sitting here wishing on it, but like, it's a known reality that, you know, one day my parents will not be here with me, and I hope that it's me before them, but obviously they're hoping the exact opposite. Just try your best, man. Try your best to do everything you can in this moment to show people that you love them and appreciate them, because tomorrow could be their last day. I've still been struggling with that to this day, like learning how to be able to like not feel annoying when I call people or talk to people. You're not a nuisance. You're not a burden. Again, if you're doing things that make you a little annoying, I mean, that's a different fucking circumstance. Like, if you're an asshole to people, obviously they're gonna feel a certain way about you. But don't sit there and think that your presence is not necessary in this life, and don't think that there's not people that want to talk to you and want to know that you're good and that you're okay. Yeah, other than that, y'all, getting into the dab, just a little 20-minute conversation about some real shit. That whole week leading up to the funeral of Logan will still to this day be the hardest week of my life. I still think about it basically every single week. I'll have a replay of that as one of my dreams every single week, and it's the one dream that I always remember, and that's why it's so fresh in my head. But I know that maybe it's for a reason. Maybe it replays all the time because my brain's just trying to make it easier on me. make Make me make me understand that it might just happen to me one day. Don't want it to, obviously, but fuck. I think I'm ready. And I think I'm prepared for that shit to happen. But I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Baj Sesh number 29. Peace out.